hell. What a main event that was. That was incredibly fire. Wow. Not the Jade match. No, we're talking about the main event, Jey Uso. Yeet coming through with that fire main event against Cody Rhodes. That top rope cutter. Oh, there were several things from tonight that were just like, I'm going to go through, we're going to point them out, we're going to talk about it. This is your Raw review for June 23rd. I am Jake, a.k.a. Countdown Ended, coming to you live with my good man, Cody O'Needy316 behind me. What's going on, my friend?
What's going on? Tonight was a good episode of Monday Night Raw. Again, they've had a track record for the last few weeks of having good shows again, which is great to have.
Yeah,
because there
no
was
doubt
a
about it.
time period where they were kind of slumping down into the trenches and mediocre shows. Now we're back on track, I think.
Yeah, we're getting there, thankfully. There was a point in time where it wasn't as stellar as we had hoped it to be.
So Dominic, that's a work, I'm assuming. Let's get into that
So
real quick.
for what I'm hearing, essentially, and this is a slight exclusive, take it with a grain of salt from the Discord inside source that I'm being told from, but the reason that they replaced the IC title match with Karrion Kross and Sammy, that was supposed to be on Raw this upcoming week, and this angle was supposed to build towards then. What happened was Liv got injured, and it's been rumored heavily for months now, months and months and months and months and months, that the Judgment Day, they were going to split up, be no more, shit the bed. You know what we're saying, folks. It was going to happen. It was final order. And lo and behold, that's what did not occur because Liv, she got injured. Now, Liv may not be out as long as a timetable is originally anticipated either. From what I'm hearing, it's going to be 4 months, not 6. So that's an improvement. And now they don't want to break up the Judgment Day. They're kind of doing
October,
what we predicted.
November.
Around there, around Crown Jewel, Takeover Perth, somewhere in that vicinity, because they might be able to get away with it sooner, just bringing her back without having her wrestle, if she's able to manage. You know, it all depends on the rehab and how she's feeling.
You can have 2 returns, technically, because then she can still act like she's hurt. Then Royal Rumble, she can still be a surprise entrance.
Yeah, and shout out to everybody here tonight. Thank you guys for tuning into the Raw review. We appreciate everybody in the chat. I'm excited for next week. I'm excited for Saturday. I hope everybody is safe. I mean, we keep hearing all this random rumor stuff. It's canceled. It's not. They grounded flights. No, wait, they didn't. Now there's a ceasefire. Wait, they're still bombing each other. It's back and forth. You and I will kind of have a little bit of a discussion at the end about Night of Champions, World War III, and everything else involved.
You want to talk about that at the end?
Yeah, we'll discuss this towards the end because Raw was just so good tonight, and there were so many things. But that Sami Zayn worked punch was one of the best work punches I have seen in some time. That was fantastic. I think he might have hit him. Like I watched it back 4 or 5 times. I see where Sammy slaps, but it looks like he just grazes him. And that is one of the best punches I've seen delivered in HD in some time, not in the ring. So what I will say, my only slight negative is that listening to Bailey and Lila try to bicker in the ring sounds so unconvincing. They don't even sound like step siblings that hate each other. It just sounds very stoic and like, how could you ruin my match? Like, that's my only disappointment. Casey, what's going on? Shout out to Mr. Pico and Stewart. Around the Ballpark podcast here. We were there to support their 3K milestone last night. Shout out to them in the chat. Great to see them. And I'm afraid to mention anything to do with the Braves.
Oh, my God. Now I'm going to another pipe bomb on you. You know what? I'm going to mention every wrestling podcaster on this platform.
I figured you're going to go nuts. Oh, Jesus.
Solo Monster. You got JD from New York.
Oh, God. No, you're going to call everybody out. I don't need you starting more wars. All right? We're already suffering enough here.
We're gonna get World War IV before World War III with
we
me
might,
doing shit.
and it kind of coincides with the review because the things that aren't being nitpicked on, like the Lyra triple threat that we predicted is coming, and it does seem like we are going to get that Lyra turn eventually, but not as soon as the Cody turn on me about the Mets. But yeah, I mean, at least
Yeah,
JD's
okay.
happy. I mean, he's celebrating, I'm sure. So go Braves, I guess.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, excuse you.
I agree with around the
I will.
ballpark. 8 out of 10, and Cross has a PLE match for the first time. So that's a major win since 2022. 3 years since we've seen that man on a PLE
All right,
pay-per-view
I have an
scenario.
announcement.
Uh-oh,
I'm quitting the show live on air because you just said go Braves.
sorry,
Goodbye, everyone. Good night.
I was just reading what Liz said in the chat. Sorry, it's you know, so huge news, Mr. Pico. Yes, please, off topic. Please let us know. But I know everybody's excited for King and Queen of the Ring finals. I mean, this is a little bit of news that I found a little surprising because I was hoping Roxanne would win, but they released this just before Raw. So ITR Wrestling was talking about how Big Money Jade is the favorite to defeat the Prodigy on tonight's Go Home episode. And they said Roxanne is not winning that match. It's going to be Jade versus Asuka in the finals. Jade is likely winning this tournament. I thought it would be Asuka, but apparently they want Jade to win.
I want Asuka. I would like to see Asuka versus Io personally.
I think that would be great, but
a Night of Champions, they added Rhea Ripley versus Raquel.
I think that's going to be on Raw this upcoming week. I don't think it's going to be on Night of Champions.
Yeah. Because I remember Rhea asked if it's official, and then
because they said it's going to be a street fight. I believe that's a Philly street fight, and Paul 3 will be there, so he's going to be our man on the inside for the SmackDown tapings that's happening after. That's why they're going to air it at 6 p.m. Eastern, and we're going to be live much earlier, so fine with me, and maybe we'll be able to report what's going on with SmackDown for those that want to know. Yeah, your state finally gets a championship in professional sport. Congrats, Casey. At least you could celebrate that. But they want Jade to be a champion. They wanted her to enter WrestleMania 41 against Bianca Belair while holding the WWE title. It was supposed to be Jade and Bianca.
What do you think about it? Are you a fan of Jade winning the tournament at all, or would you rather see Asuka?
I'd rather see Asuka win it. She just came back after injury, but so did Jade, I guess.
I think Asuka versus Io would be an amazing match.
But I feel like with the implication being you get the main event at, or the title match at SummerSlam, be it the main event or not, whatever they want to call it, you're getting the title match, and I'm excited for that. Yeah, Piper versus Nia, a Philly cheesesteak. Sign me up.
How do they decide what world champion do they face? Is it
I think they said of their respected brand. So Jade's on SmackDown, so she would be facing Tiffany
or Naomi. I think
Naomi's probably going to cash in anyways, and that's likely where it'll be. But we'll see what happens. The thing is, they wanted Jade to be champion. They did. They wanted Jade to be champion at Mania so that the triple threat wouldn't have happened. It would have been Io and Rhea there, and then they would have had, as I said, Jade taking on Bianca Belair. Interestingly enough, she was going to take the title from Nia before she got injured. So that's something. And then everything that happened with the Elimination Chamber and, to everybody else. But yeah, it's just, it was a bit of a surprise to hear how much they're going to push her. They really want Jade to be this elevated top of the female chain, top of the division.
Which I'm not a fan of personally, and that's no disrespect towards Jade Cargill. She just doesn't look the best in the ring still.
She still doesn't. Her match tonight was not great. She wasn't great yet. So I just, it comes across, again, like early times Roman Reigns. She just doesn't deserve it. It feels undeserved. And that's kind of how the online sentiment of the majority of people seem to feel, not just the vocal minority in the IWC, that vocal minority that have been hating on Jey Uso for a while now and saying that his title reign was nothing and just trolling poor Rikishi's podcast. Leave that man alone. He's gone through enough. But
Yeah.
with the 100-degree heat
Obviously,
today,
Rikishi wants to stick up for his son.
yeah, you and I
That's
barely survived, and we
oh yeah, we
were
were about to
lucky not to
die.
melt with 150%
You
humidity in
blame
this
me for the
place.
temperature. You said I control the weather, and I
I also said that you were at fault
turn
for
up
a
the
lot
heat.
more than that, as you remember in the
Oh
chat,
yeah.
but
Well,
I'm
we'll get
blaming you
into
for
that
everything.
because that's for the other topic. Because I didn't bring the boom, but you accused me of it. But
I mean, it seems like you did. I mean, it's that or Trump's still on a golf course and he's worked on the first 3 holes, but this show started off again white hot. Michael Cole, not with Pat McAfee, surprisingly enough. I was hoping it would be Pat, but alas, that was not the case.
so where is Pat McAfee, by the way?
I know eventually he does stuff for College Game Day, but I don't know what he's doing right now.
That's more for the fall, right?
I
He
know,
would
I
start doing
thought.
that.
So
I wonder what he's doing right now,
he's
or is he
doing
just
shit.
slowly,
He's
quietly
busy.
leaving WWE?
No, he's still
Because
involved.
people,
He still has his contract. I know they said he was busy at some point with something, but place was packed tonight. Absolutely. They had 13,433 in attendance. This was in Columbus at the Nationwide Arena. That is a very nice place. This again, at certain points, proves how the fans nowadays don't care what's going on in the ring, in the sense of they just want to cheer actions. They want to be a part of the action. They want to participate, and they want to have fun. Yeah, it was
like
Corey
look
instead
for
of Pat
Dominic
tonight.
Mysterio, for example. Like he last week got booed in the start with the promo with Liv, and then when he was out there for JD McDonough's match, he got cheered.
Yep. And
So
so even better example tonight is the crowd is booing Raquel Rodriguez during her promo, and then they're chanting Rhea's name. But Raquel goes under the ring and pulls out the Slim Jim table. Yeah, that's right. She grabs that son of a
what's the
bitch,
saying? Snap
appearing like
into
the
a Slim-
Undertaker, snap into a Slim Jim. So she's going to snap her into that table. And what did the crowd do? They lost their ever loving minds. Why?
They didn't give a shit if Rhea
Slim
Ripley went
Jim
through the table.
Woo! Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's about as hype as it gets. They're just
Gotta
pretend
get
it's
that
Slim
Slim
Jim
Jim
table.
table
Work
out.
with me here. I don't have editing on the fly. I'm not that quick, but Slim Jim table. You get it. Slim Jim table. Yeah, absolutely.
I put you through one of those earlier today.
Did
and,
not give a shit if Rhea died going through that table. They were going to see a table break, and my God, snap into it. That is just one point, but the fans just want to enjoy themselves. They want to be a part of the action. So they're chanting, hooting, and hollering. That is even more evidence why they need to absolutely go ahead and get rid of Seth's song
during their promos, but then
they're cheered at their entrances. They're cheered. You know, Seth Rollins getting his song repeated. They need to get rid of the damn
last week,
song.
Speaking about Dominic, Liv too. Liv got booed during her promo, but like when she went out for her match, she got like a pop of the night cheer. It's weird.
It is very of the times. Certainly, the fans are genuinely and seemingly stuck on, hey, whatever happens, we want action. Doesn't matter, heel, face, baby face, whatever. Everybody in the chat, let me know how the volume is. We try to turn things up a little bit without going too loud like previously. We're kind of all over the place, but we'll see what happens. I got home just in time to reset the computer with the update.
Heels and faces don't matter anymore.
They kind of don't for a live crowd. The home people watching too, but the problem is the live crowd influences the home crowd, and they will say Penta got buried, but Penta, I mean, he even went ahead and damaged poor Chad's arm. We'll see what happens to El Grande
Maybe
Americano.
El Grande Americano can save his friend Chad Gable there.
I think him and Penta are going to have a match coming up, but it seems like it. Yeah, they need a new faction song. They need a new name. They need to get rid of all of the chantable bullshit. The barking is going to be hard to get rid of. As I said before, one of the best things of the night was that spear. I know if I even attempt to allude to it, they will go ahead and copyright claim this video. So WWE is more fickle than anyone, but This,
Maybe me and you can reenact it, or would that
oh,
still
we're
be
gonna have
copyright?
to.
How good we would do.
We would probably nail it. I mean, look how much I look like fucking Braun Breaker. I mean, the resemblance
Yeah,
is uncanny. I
we would
mean,
nail it so bad that they would fucking copyright us for that. They would
look
think
at that
it's the
lady.
real
You're
deal.
walking down the street before. She's like, "Is that John Cena?" And I'm like, "No, that's just my bald spot." Oh. Any event, so Braun Breaker hit that fucking beautiful spear on the return off the ropes from Penta. I mean, I'm a little ahead of myself, but I just had to point that out. There were several moments tonight that really stood out. The punch, from Sami Zayn being one of them, but this as well. The main event. Oh, the main event. It didn't save this show.
Main
Didn't
event was
carry
Chef's
it.
Kiss.
It just
Absolute
made
cinema.
it. Yes, it put the icing on this good cake. The Jade match was a letdown, but it wasn't horrible. It was just there. It existed. And I think that could be kind of worse at times. At least a bad match you can laugh at or have fun with or mock. It was just rather boring, unfortunately. So I did like that Seth really asked the crowd outright, what do you want? 1 minute you're chanting for Punk, and next minute you're chanting for the OTC, and after that you're barking for the dog. We got the bad boy coming in, and he's like, and then you're singing my song, and then they sing his fucking song, point in case. He's getting them to eat out of the palm of his hand, and it's so obvious. And then he says it's obvious. You guys don't know what you want, and I don't care. He's like, you need me to be a visionary. This actually was a really good Seth Rollins promo. I am tired of the Rollins diatribes that he cuts where he goes on and on. But he was very, very poignant in this by pointing out the hypocrisy of the audience. And then he started to drone on a little bit, but then he caught some fire. He's like, you need visionaries like me to decide what's good for you, making points. He's like, Cody Rhodes had not put anybody on the map. I made everybody. He said he made Punk, he made Reigns, he made Cody. He was the first NXT champion. He did. Wow. I mean, that is your dad. He said LA Knight is going to be out for weeks. This is not new. This has been going on since around Triple H took over, around 2023, I want to say, that they diagnose people with the most obtuse and obscene fucking medical issues. LA Knight has, what is it, rib contusions? They came out with something, and cartilage contusion, a rib cartilage contusion, I believe they said.
Who was the one that had anal bleeding? Remember that?
Oh, that was Jerry Lawler. Yeah, Jerry Lawler has
Booker T was like,
anal
what?
bleeding. He was like, dear God, that was a rib. But I mean, since then they've gone on, like when people
it was a rib on Booker, right?
They used to be like, they broke their arm. Now they're like, they have a tier 3 shoulder separation that goes into the 4th quadrant of the left vertebrae of the 5th nerve, and it's
I'm like, I don't know what the hell you're talking about. But
I lost you there, but they try to sound like super official. But most of the stuff they said, like, they got a tension pneumothorax. All right, he's got a collapsed lung. Like, we get it. You use big words, but it's not a big deal. They got a
broken rib that transferred to their leg, and they tore their ACL through their foot, and then broke their pinky in the process. All of that, the whole 9 yards.
It was a paint by numbers promo by Rollins. Yes, it was very routine, but the delivery and the highlighting the hypocrisy of the audience made it shine, made it exemplary. You say Penta will lose to Reed soon as well as Gable. Get a couple more losses. We'll see him seek out his brother. Lucha Bros versus Breaker and Reed at SummerSlam. That would be interesting. I originally had thought that they might have their paths cross at Worlds Collide, but we didn't see that happen. So this led into Braun and Penta having their match. Paul Heyman stayed out there. Waller's Heyman was great. He really was. I even said it before. Well, the faces on this man, I mean, that's a real cinematic chef's kiss moment. Penta, he got his head dropped on his knees, basically on the table, and then they brought him to the inside. It was like he basically did like a press slam on him over his head, and he basically just dropped him. That looked great, but still, I mean, the two of them beat the hell out of each other. Penta is not one to shy away from some hard hits and some strong styles. So Penta eventually hits the Destroyer, gets a really good near fall, and you hear the crowd, they're going nuts in the background, you know, and you get the this is awesome, the holy shits. And Penta goes for the springboard. Breaker spears him out of mid in air, grabs him, just perfect, pins him. 14-minute match. They let this breathe. Only one commercial break. This was great. And then no more attack on Penta. Seth, like you said before, he wants to try and be diplomatic. As you said, he's just going to talk to you. He said to a hurting Penta, you need to stay out of our way. And Penta is being defiant, shaking his head no. But it was cool to see Seth come back out, but not be a factor in it. He trusts that, you know, Braun Breaker can get the job done. He didn't need to be there. It was a really good match. I'm so happy that this had a clean finish, too. I thought Bronson Reed was going to come out and screw it up because it involved Penta. They likely didn't want to have...
about barking.
I thought that they were going to try and protect Penta a little bit here, but I like the clean loss, and especially to Braun Breaker. Put him over.
I don't mind the clean loss to Braun Breaker.
Not at all.
Braun Breaker needs it more, and Braun Breaker needs the momentum, obviously, because he's their next big thing in WWE. And
sorry, I'm laughing. I got these Kool-Aid juice. I'm such a fucking child. I got my juice, and you made juice. I got my juice.
I was speaking about barking, though. He sounded like you earlier when we were doing our OnlyFans recordings.
Jesus Christ. I keep telling you not to
and started barking. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. We weren't supposed to bring that up.
We're going to get in trouble about that.
Sorry.
Anyway, New Day has a match, and they basically have a tag team match coming up. Who are they facing?
I don't know.
I just saw them get mad, and then Grayson Waller came in and yelled, so I was confused.
I saw that part too.
I know later on they showed a graphic
because they dropped the ball with them big time. But Grayson Waller apparently, yeah.
I'm not sure. So
he needs to.
They had to
leave
sit down.
The New Day alone and stuff.
Yeah, so, they're going to do this stupid grouping thing with him. I don't know. I guess eventually they'll have their split, but. What are you gonna do? You should see what I'll do for a Capri Sun. I mean, Kool-Aids are one thing, but you want to get Pacific
Speaking about
Punch.
Capri Sun, did you see that they're doing this like whole big gigantic ass pouch of Capri Sun you can get?
No.
Yeah, you can get like this whole big pouch of it now. I don't know. I have to send you it, but
fuck me, I need to pick that up. A big
because
pouch
the juice
of Capri
box
Sun.
version, it's gone in one gulp, you know?
Yeah, exactly. You just take one little sip of that and you got to ration it out. I don't remember the name of the book, but I remember reading it in like 2nd or 3rd grade about a boy in the desert, and he finds a 6-pack of Pepsi, right? And he buries it in the sand so it'll stay cold, and he rations them out for a while because that's all he's going to be able to have. And for some reason, that always stuck out in my mind. And
yeah, I got to send that to you.
You got to ration your drinks out, so... Make sure you send that to me. I got to see the gigantic Capri Sun. I mean, nothing more important to break up a Raw review like Capri Sun, especially if it's Pacific Cooler. So Goldberg sat his Oldberg ass down, and he's like, it doesn't matter if I'm 69 or 58. Yes, Bob. He said, I'm going to beat the fuck out of Gunther. He did. They censored him. He says, I'm going to beat the out of Gunther at Saturday night's main event because that makes him cool. They let him swear. Still don't like Goldberg. Sorry. I'd love to see Gunther win, but Gunther's going to die. He's going to get a little offense in. Maybe it'll go longer than 3 minutes, but Gunther's going to get speared and pinned, and Seth is cashing in. I'm sticking to it. I guarantee it.
Wait, so you're telling me Goldberg saying didn't do anything with you for wanting Goldberg to win? I thought him saying helped a lot.
You thought him saying helped, but nope. No. It's supposed to make him seem cool, but I like Phoenix. People don't seem to gravitate to him like Penta and WWE. I think it's a bit of a different thing with him, and Penta's had a little bit more of a story in his matches and who's he's faced, as where Phoenix has just had cool matches so far. So people are a little bit more behind Penta. I think Phoenix will continue to grow on people. He's a great worker in the ring, and who he works with, he's looks stellar. He always makes everybody else look great, too.
Oh, absolutely, 100%.
Then we got another really damn good segment, thankfully, and Raquel can't act, but that's kind of what saved this, and it made it even better than what it was. So they're in the JD clubhouse, and Balor's trying to rally the troops. You know,
It's JD's clubhouse.
It is. And
Jake DeMarco, JD from New York, JD McDonough. Which JD we going with here?
Spin the wheel.
Huh.
Your choice.
All right.
So we go ahead and we see Balor. He's trying to rile everybody up. He's like, you know, Raquel's like, I wonder what's going to happen to the titles. And she's like, the general manager hasn't made a decision yet. And Balor's like, don't worry about it. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. And he's like, maybe if you're just not complaining about it so much, you know, and he turns his back to her and she gets all mad. And he's like, good, see, I want to get you mad. I want to get you riled up. I wanted to get you angry. I wanted to see you.
Little bastard.
Yeah, exactly. He knew what he was doing because he wanted to get her out there. So now why?
That fucking smirk cracks me the fuck up.
So Roxanne would make the save and they become like this. He wants her and Roxanne to become a team. It makes sense. I didn't be up notice for a Regal
were saying
Goldberg
that
rematch.
Roxanne's already copying Liv. Was she dressed like her tonight? I didn't notice.
I don't believe so.
Yeah, because someone said she had like a gear
thing.
Oh, Liv-inspired gear. I didn't think that was the case. I was like, what are you talking about? It looks like normal.
News to me. I'm telling you.
Yeah, news to me too. Yeah. News to me too. Please.
That's
why I had to ask you because I was confused.
I'm still curious on what's going to happen with everything in Saudi. Don't worry, we'll get to that towards the end.
I didn't miss anything, right?
No, you didn't. You were right there on top of it all. But I am curious what everybody thinks of Raw out of 10. Let us know in the chat as we continue. Yeah, Balor's being a bastard.
It was a 6.9, a 4.20. You know.
Let us know. Yeah, Balor is he's devious, and I like him being an indirect prick. You know, where he's trying to rile people up, but he's doing it under the guise of, oh, I'm just doing it to help you. I want you to be mad because I wanted to bring, you know, the real you out. I wanted to see you be the enforcer.
Him, he has that evil laugh. It makes me crack up every time.
He was great. Raquel's acting was even better. Dom is very, very sad, and Balor even's like, "Oh, you got a match still," which was odd. Dom didn't say, "No, I don't have a match. I'm injured." Like, I don't know if they filmed that earlier and forgot to correct that, but they just got done saying Dom was not having a match. So
yeah,
then Balor's like, "Well, you got your match," because Balor in the beginning said, "Oh, you've got your match." But we already heard that Dom's match was canceled. We already heard, you know, the whole thing went on. So
way earlier in the day.
That was my thought, and they forgot about that line. Yeah. And then
they did that before with Sheamus and Austin Theory, right? The way or Grayson Waller or something like that. Like
I remember that with Sheamus.
They announced it in two different ways. Yeah.
Yeah. Then they had Lyra and Bayley backstage, and Lyra's trying to make sure everything's all good, and Bayley basically thinks, oh, she's just trying to get a title shot out of me, but Lyra's making sure that she, you know, she knows that I meant well. I want to be your friend, but she can't be. Then we get the boring match, unfortunately. Jade and Roxanne, Queen of the Ring semifinals. I was looking forward to this, too. It should not have been a snore. It shouldn't have put you out like Benadryl does, but they didn't even give Roxanne a televised entrance. They made Jade look like $1 million. They gave her the full entrance treatment, and then they come back. Roxanne's already in the ring, and I was like, yep, she's definitely eating the pin. Basically, it was a lot of Jade using strength and then being overconfident and a bit too egotistical. And then Roxanne finds a way to reverse it. Like she'll kick her in the knee, or she'll knock her down, or she'll trip her. You know, that was kind of like, so eventually, you know, Jade hits her with a big fall away slam, and Jade kips up and kind of sells her knee for a second, but then she puts her down with a big spine buster, and then, of course, she gets hit in the knee. She's holding it down again, and Jade goes over. She licks Roxanne, and then she slams her straight to the mat, and she does it in such a way that I don't know what the hell she was going for, but it had to have hurt, and that gets a 2 count. She goes for the Jaded, but that's when Roxanne rolls through it, gets a near fall of her own with a bridge pin. And she follows it up with a big pump kick and then a drop kick and then hits her with her knee, gets her down. And then she's holding on the back of her head. Eventually, she gets frustrated and starts flailing with punches. And that's when Roxanne's going to try and go for Pop Rocks. But Jade gets out of the way and she threw probably the worst kick, not just of the night, but that I've seen in some time. This was horrible. It made no contact with her at all. And she had to try and sell it like she died. Awful moment. This really brought the show down, unfortunately. Jade then hits a sloppy looking power bomb where she landed more on her neck than her back, then picks her up to hit her finisher because the power bomb apparently wasn't enough. They were already saying to go home. You heard the ref yell that clear as day after the kick made no contact. So she picks her up, hits the Jaded, does the sexy pin, and 11 minutes, 30 seconds later, we all regretted seeing that. Jade goes up to the top of the ramp. Well, the stage, not even the ramp, I should say anymore. Goes up to the top of the stage, goes by the Queen of the Ring crown, poses, and that's when Asuka comes out and shows that hey, it's me under the mask, and we're gonna fuck each other. Grr.
Wait, it's over?
Yeah, and that was it. So that's it. Yeah. All right, you're up now. I know,
even
sorry.
you explaining. I'm sorry. Yeah, I snored through that whole segment. I'm sorry. We don't have to redo it or anything, but that just put me to sleep. You don't need any sleeping medications or anything. You just go watch Jade Cargill matches, and that can do the trick for you.
Actually, funny enough, the strain that I'm smoking right now is called Sweepy Weed, SWEEPY, Sweepy. Like it's supposed to be sleepy,
really?
but it's Sweepy Weed.
I didn't even know you were doing it. That's great.
Yeah, I came on this show.
I mean, you don't even
high
need that.
as bad as I could be.
Just go
Look
watch
at my
Jade Cargill's
eyes. What
match.
do you see? I smoked a lot of 420. Yeah, hit that shit. Do it, punk.
What would put you to sleep quicker, melatonin or Jade Cargill?
Jade Cargill, definitely. Melatonin, oh boy, the tolerance I have, when like Tylenol PMs, I can take like 9 of those to start. If I don't fall asleep immediately and fight through it at all, then we're just going for a ride. So you have like a very short window to let those things work or not. But Jade's not that. Liz, she missed that kick by a mile, a metric mile. It went nowhere near her.
Yeah, it was bad.
She's not even just that kick, though. The way that she stopped selling, then started selling, then stopped selling, then started selling her knee repeatedly. Like even Roxanne kept trying to like kick her in the knee to remind her, like, hey, you're supposed to be injured. Then she did the pump kick. It's like, why are you doing the pump kick when your knee's in? Like, it's bad. She looks green. They're pushing her again. It feels like the machine behind her, and she's not that deserving yet. I would like to see Jade out there every week like we do see Roxanne, like we see others. Let her have matches week after week. She needs to, not even a mid-card title, just give her some matches,
But
she's not horrible, but there's such a
I mean, look at Nia Jax. Every time she's been out there lately, she's been on classics.
Roxanne Perez is of an upper echelon caliber. She has proven in NXT why she is the top tier in the women's division. I mean, that girl saved us through the pandemic and 2.0 era for a fucking reason. Her and Cora, Alana Black now. But speaking of Alana Black, once Cora Jade, Tegan Knox and several others are all starting or have started OnlyFans. Tegan Knox announces that she's starting hers in 5 days. Genuine question. Who's paying for Tegan Knox's nudes? Right.
Oh, we were supposed to answer that.
Okay. It's not rhetorical, but duly noted. So yeah, Nia Jax has been since she had the title, she's been competent.
Well,
she's
Jake,
been effective.
You told me that you told me earlier that you were gonna pay for it, and then
yeah, I mean, but just go with it. So yeah, but here's the thing: there's so many top tier women in WWE right now that when you have any obvious difference, and just give her time. I don't think she's going to be bad at all, but I think Jade needs just more chance to be in the ring repeatedly. You get more comfortable the more you're in there.
In NXT.
There's an argument for that. I mean, what did she really do in AEW? She was their Goldberg. She did not have a match, I believe, longer than 9 seconds. Realistically, she went in there and she would do 1 or 2 moves. She had a 50-something win streak and then lost to Chris Statlander. Even that was super quick. And I'm not saying there's anything bad with having streaks but she wasn't learning. She admitted that. She was like, that was the problem. I could do the same move really good, but nothing else. Like, she's like, I wasn't advancing. I wasn't learning week to week. I wasn't.
I'll give her this. She definitely looks
And then
a little
Tony
better
felt
than
like he
from
put
when she
all this
first
into
started.
her, and then he's like, I did all that work to make you such a big name, and then you left. Well, you did nothing with her. She felt like in there. Did you really make her a big name, or did you just give her a hollow win streak over nameless people on Dark and Elevation?
Yeah, because
She had
sure,
50
you could have a
wins,
win
but she was
streak,
barely
but
on
you're not
Dynamite.
actually performing that much for the crowd, which this is what these wrestlers love to do.
Yeah.
Perform, and she's not really getting the chance to do that despite her win streak. It's only matches under a minute or whatever, like you said, so I don't blame her for leaving, because it's not like she was treated well there. Tony Khan will say, but she was like 50-0, but that doesn't matter when you're only having matches that are 9 seconds.
I will say there were some funny things that came out of Fanatics Fest, obviously, and there were silly moments and heartwarming things as well.
John
seeing
Cena,
kids
I saw
interact. Yeah, he went out like
Sam
a maniac. He was going
he
crazy.
jumped on then he fell.
He jumped on the table, knocked that over. I mean, there were so many kids that got to live their dreams out by doing entrances with stars and stuff. Like, it was just really that side of it is fun to see. God knows how expensive it is, but you want to know something? Like, TKO isn't just price gouging WWE fans. In Vegas right now, if you look up Slap Fight this upcoming weekend, UFC's Slap Fight, the other division they have, the cheapest the ticket was going for was $700 for a slap fight show.
Are you fucking kidding me? I'm not.
No, and they're sold out. They're sold out.
People pay for that?
Like, really? Like, I did watch the show they had, the live stream. I watched them all in like a day, and it was funny because it's just CTE, the show. What was the channel? It was on Spike TV.
Endeavor is bankrupt, right? I hear.
Well, they're not bankrupt. They have a deficit of like $3.4 billion, I believe. It doesn't mean they're not profitable, but they have more debt than their assets. Like, it's very confusing. They're making a shit ton of money, but they're not. Like, they could. It's a way for them to protect themselves as a business. The WWE side is not as in debt as the UFC side. So,
right, because WWE knows how to be a profitable company. Unlike,
well, WWE puts profit above safety. I mean, look at what happened when they had Khashoggi's killing. They didn't hesitate to still go overseas and have their Saudi show then. Remember, that was a big contention.
Like Vince would cancel the show.
Vince would cancel. He would protect his talent. I'm like, what the fuck are you smoking? He was the one that set this up and pushed for this.
Didn't they used to contribute to the troops in war zones? I mean, they don't give a shit.
Exactly. And the only one that ever came bad out of there was Ashley,
in
poor
Iraq
girl.
Or whatever, right?
Yeah. Ashley was the only one that ever came bad out of there. So they're like, just one in fatality, They skirted that under the rug. But that was just a bad doctor at a bad military base. That wasn't safety. But they've had their safety threatened. They've had their planes, held from taking off.
I remember like a Survivor Series or something when ISIS was more of a thing and threat, and they threatened a WWE show one time, and Vince was like, the show must go on.
Yes, he was not going to respond to terrorism, and I get that to some extent, but they had their SummerSlam kickoff over the weekend, and it was really silly to do that. I understand because it's Fanatics Fest. They got to give the people something. Oh, it's a SummerSlam kickoff. Yay, but why not do King of the Ring, Queen of the Ring kickoff or something? I don't know, make it more, but whatever. Then we had Sheamus and Rusev. They had a good back and forth. Obviously, the line of it was him saying that Sheamus called Rusev the most, you think you're a god, but you're really the most egotistical member of the League of Nations, and the worst member as well. Calling him out, and that's when Sheamus is like, it's time for you to put up or shut up. So we'll get a match out of them shortly, but we'll see when and where that'll take place.
I want them to be a tag team, actually. I don't want them to keep feuding. I would actually like them to be a tag team. I think they would do good with the tag team titles or something like that. I don't know if you agree with me there, but I think Sheamus and Rusev would be good for that.
Exactly.
Because I'm already tired of the New Day with their whole heel shtick. Because they dropped the ball with that. They killed the heat of them. They had nuclear heat, and then
it
or
was
should we say
some
nuclear
level of
nowadays?
heat. Yeah, we might want to avoid that one. Look at this. You're even getting shouted out in the chat. Paul's saying, shout out to Cody for always showing up and adding to the show, glazing someone else besides you, Jake. I see how it is, but don't worry, Liz. We'll have you on again soon.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
We
Thank you.
did get probably my favorite thing
I've
of the
been called
night.
a glazer. I had to talk to Twitter and Instagram because they thought I was paid. I was paid by Liv Morgan and Dominic and all
you
them.
were
and
paid bot.
Yep.
And fake
people
accounts.
said stop glazing.
Oh shit!
them.
I forgot you
Stop
said
glazing.
nuclear before. I forgot the button.
nuclear.
It's nuclear. Nuclear.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
My
What's
bad,
a
my mistake.
gime? Oh, a gime. Oh, The Simpsons. So many quotes. So yeah, sure. She says so. Karrion Kross and Scarlett shows up, and Zayn doesn't even get a chance.
When you said nuclear, though, I ran.
Look at
that one. That was a good one.
That was a good one. Sorry, I got to give you credit for that one. So they don't even get Sammy's chance to answer the question about how Jackie Redmond was saying. Well, first she's interviewing Becky Lynch, and she's complaining about Bailey and Lyra and saying that they're working together, and she takes off all mad, and that's when Sammy gets asked about how are you processing your loss, Sammy. And just as he's about to
sound
speak,
like someone
Karrion and Scarlett.
How are you processing your loss?
How are
it sounded emotional here. Like
how are you processing? How are you handling it?
I thought someone died or something.
So
I'm like, oh no.
Using my hypnosis. I'm going to hypnotize you. So we go ahead and we get them to finally get under Sammy's skin. And Kross is like, I'm not trying to get under your nerves. I'm just, what happened? You said, I said Randy Orton would take you out, and look what happened. It happened. And you're never going to be champion. And Sammy just says, okay. Turns.
Block.
And lays the best punch I've seen in some time. God damn. Oh, it was beautiful. Well, Big Show be damned. Forget the WMD.
I wonder what it tasted like.
Oh, it tasted like meat. Like a man fist.
Oh, that looked like way more devastating than the WMD ever did.
So Karrion is holding his mouth, his hand over his face, and seething with his eyes. He's looking so angry at Sammy. Can we agree
the WMD, though, was one of the weakest finishers ever?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. It should have been epic.
Why didn't
he couldn't deliver it. He should just
because
follow
he did
through.
the choke slam before, right? But then
it never looked effective because he was so slow with it because he wanted to not hurt anyone. I get it, but it was just like,
for the choke slam or a punch?
Didn't work. I like a choke slam. That would have been. That still should have been it. No one else had the choke slam.
Kane was originally like that too. If you see when he first debuted, like how when they would choke slam someone, he would like gently.
Yeah, he would just kind of.
If you go back.
Yeah, he wouldn't lift them all the way up. And then Taker was like, no. You hurt them. You make them feel it. And then he showed him how to do the last ride. And he broke Kai and Tai's back. So
I made you feel it earlier.
Yeah. I'm still sore.
Oh. Those bananas came in handy.
They did. No, God, not in the air. So we go ahead and we get Sammy saying tick-tock. Click clock. He goes ahead and walks away and says, I already spoke to Adam
like
Pearce.
That Mario 64
it's official.
Level tick-tock clock.
Right? Maybe he's playing the Switch 2 too much. So then my favorite moment of all of this was Scarlett, because she acted her part perfectly. She looked pissed. She looked scared. She looked concerned, all of it. And then she looked silly and happy. And she goes, oh, stop it, basically. And you see Karrion just still holding his jaw a little bit. It hurt, but he's like, he starts laughing when he moves his hand. He's smiling, the evil bastard. He says, got him.
He's so fucking good. I hope they end up pushing him because they say they listen to the people in the arena, and look at he always gets big pops when he's on screen doing backstage segments. So
yeah,
you hear that, WWE? So
push him. Absolutely. So Becky and Bailey come out next, and they are riding on a high. And thankfully, this match, it went exactly as we called it, and I mean to a T, exactly as we
Yep.
called it. Could not have been a clearer order. We said Lyra would get involved, and it was going to lead to a triple threat, likely at Evolution. And this match, though, when Bailey hit that Bailey to belly for a near fall, that was one of the best looking ones. I mean, that looked horrible to take. Like, that really looked effective, the way she slammed her so forcefully into the mat. Good. And we saw eventually Bailey hits a big sunset flip and gets another near fall. Like, that was great. Bailey even tries to whip out the half crab, but she's selling the entire time. The weak arm. She can't utilize the strength she needs to pull her away from the ropes, to get both legs. To the entire time she sold it, and it just played into the match perfectly. And eventually, Bailey stops her from getting the manhandle slam, and then she basically hits her with her own finisher, and the crowd is chanting along, and basically Becky escapes to ringside to not get pinned, and you see Bailey. She gets just belayed, totally tossed over the table, and knocks everything over. And that's when Becky just starts to throw everything, chairs and whatnot, on top of her. And she runs, gets back inside the ring, and she's trying to make the ref count. Hurry up, count, ring the bell, ring the bell. And that's when Lyra shows up, and she takes all the shit off of Bailey, and she helps her get back up. And that's when Becky comes, and she hits Lyra right then and there, and Lyra chases her to the ring ropes, and they're in each other's face, and Becky wants it. She wants to be hit. Get the DQ, get the DQ, hit me, hit me. Great selling from everybody here. Lyra holds her anger in, and she's able to get back down. She goes over, and she's in the way, though. And Bailey gets hit and knocked back out. And that's when Becky jumps to the outside and starts to attack Lyra again. And once Bailey rolls Becky back in the ring, she goes up top. It looks like she's going to hit the old macho, oh yeah, Slim Jim style snap into an elbow drop. But Lyra comes in and just starts beating the shit out of Becky for the DQ. And
Bailey was happy.
How could she be? But the acting was so poor between these two in the ring. It kind of took away from it a little bit. It really did.
I was going to say that because before that, the whole thing was fucking amazing.
It was so good. Everything was perfect. I wish they never interacted. I wish they just stared at each other, pissed off.
Yeah, all those words, like fucking great.
Nothing needed to be added to it. Them bickering at each other sounded so forced and so stunted and just scripted. It was not natural at all. And how dare you cost me the title match? Like, it didn't sound realistic.
That sounds
it didn't
like
sound
a
believable.
WWE game generic
yes.
promo that they would
with
do,
the rhythm
like,
stick.
What were you doing out there? Like, that's how it sounded.
Hold on, we're doing the rhythm stick. Sorry, I'm really high. Any event, that's for you, Stuart. So, anybody else requesting the rhythm stick? But Gable enters from backstage. She's talking to Ivy Nile, and he's telling her a story about her favorite student and how she's always been his favorite. And he's like, I blame Stephanie. It's not your fault. And he's like, I'm going to tell you what I did to Rey Mysterio and Otis when they got in my way, and I wiped them out completely. And that's when he sees Penta, and he tells her, hold on a second. He goes over to Penta, and he's just trying to rub it in. You lost. You know, he's just trying to be just a little shit. And he's trying to rub it in Penta's face, and Penta's pissed. He dealt with Braun. He dealt with Seth. He dealt with Bronson.
Healing it up.
He just wasn't. No, he's just being himself. No fear. He was pissed. And he went ahead and... Oh, I know. I'm just being a wise ass, Stuart. But they basically see Gable getting, attempt to be hit, but oh no, Penta knows he's going to be hit, and he's trying to avoid confrontation, but it was, Penta just stops Gable from threatening to rip the mask off his head and super kicks him and gets him on the ground and gives him the sacrifice. And oh, Jesus, that looks like it hurts. And he might have broken his arm. And we got to wait to see what happens. But everybody runs over and we see the Creed show up and they run off Penta. So, like you said, a little bit of heel, but no, I think it's just a little bit of revenge from Penta. He's that, like you said, no, they don't really care about heel or babyface as much. They just want people to be badasses. And speaking of badasses, we got Raquel in the ring trying to be a badass, and she's cutting a promo in Spanish and in English, like she's at Grand Slam Mexico, like she's the Hangman, and she's trying to entice Rhea to come out. She's like, "You screwed me out of Queen of the Ring, and I can't let you do that." That's her motivation. Cool. Rhea comes out there, Stone Cold style, just motherfucking everything, not giving her a second look, just right looking through her. And she storms down to the ring and she starts beating the hell out of her. And it all spills to the outside. And eventually Rhea gets tossed into the timekeeper's area. And that's when Raquel pulls out the Slim Jim snap into it table. And the crowd cheers. They've been chanting Rhea this entire time, but now they're cheering. And she screams, she's like, "You want tables?" And eventually, Rhea jumps down off the announce table, takes out Raquel. She sets up the table. Usually, I like laughing at the women struggling to set up the tables. Heavy and awkward, those things are. And they are awkward to set up. And these are even like the pre-cut ones, so you really got to make sure you get it right. And
yeah, so it's even more difficult now than it used to be, so...
We think that Raquel's going to get put through the table by Rhea, but Roxanne comes out, she makes the save, and she gets Tiana bombed through the table by Raquel. And Raquel hugs Roxanne, and that was it. We're going to get a tables match at, what, Evolution maybe? I know they announced a street fight, but I have to think that there's more coming, right? It feels like it. Maybe a tag match? I don't know, something. Because you'd want to see Rhea and somebody have to take out Roxanne and Raquel. Could be interesting. Maybe she gets Stephanie and teams up with her. That'd be cool. You know, she has some options on the Raw side.
Nikki Bella.
Really? Could be a
Nikki Bella.
Could be an interesting option because now they're saying that because Liv getting injured halted multiple plans. So the Judgment Day was apparently dissolving. They were going to have at Night of Champions, Dom was going to have Finn be, Finn was going to turn on Dom then at Night of Champions. And because of them wanting both Liv and Dom to be the face out of this, with Liv being injured and not there, they don't want to do just one turn and they don't want to mess things up. So now they're just delaying things and keeping Judgment Day together a bit longer. So we'll see how it plays out. But Finn is still causing chaos in the background. It looks like he's just going to do that a bit longer. They had a great.
I think they have to do some sort of breakup before Liv returns because you're talking about October or November, the earliest.
Oh, I don't think it'll
January,
be. I don't think it'll be the entire time Liv's away, but I think they delayed things quite a bit. I think they're going to try and hold off as close as they can to getting her back. I think they'll wait at least 2 months. I'm sure that they could do it till like SummerSlam point.
Do you think she returns like around Survivor Series, or do you think she returns for Rumble? Because I said if she,
I'm thinking Survivor Series. I'm thinking she can do it out wrestling too. Yeah,
because
she can talk.
It can still be a surprise entrance.
Absolutely,
because she's gonna still play like she's still hurt, and then her music goes off in the middle of the room. So.
Night of Champions is on the Street Fight is on Night of Champions. Oh, excellent. Well, look at that. So that'll be interesting then. They're adding another match to Night of Champions then if they're adding the Street Fight. Thank you, Liz, for letting us know. See, you're on the inside. The inside track. Yeah, I'm with them adding that to Night of Champions, that is interesting. I'm
that
intrigued.
Would make 6 matches, right?
It would indeed, because they did add Karrion and Sammy. So
yeah, so is that good enough for a card? I don't know. I kind of like the 5-match format. I know a lot of people aren't a fan of it.
I like the 5 matches
if they did
usually, yeah.
Because you have more time for better quality matches. Instead, if you do multiple matches, every match is going to get cut down. That's not really going to pick up the momentum it needs. So I think less matches are better.
Yep. They did add it. Night of Champions street fight. And then you have Sami Zayn as well as facing Karrion Kross. So not
Alrighty then.
we're getting 6. I do like the 5-match format, but with this starting at 1, not the worst at all. You know, they'll end up doing more with it. So let's add these in, that one there, and that one there. There we go. I added them in the mix. They'll appear behind me. Booyah, kasha. So yeah, I'm happy that they added it to it. It's better than being on Raw. It gives more of an exciting thing for Saudi, and sure, let's add more people to the show and put more people at risk. Yay! They had a really great promo package with the yin and yang of John Cena and CM Punk. What's really interesting, I was not aware of, this will be their 15th match, but they're 6-6 because they have 1 no contest, 1 DQ. So whoever wins this one really has the record in their favor.
Oh yeah.
And then we had the main event. And as we said before, what a main event it was.
It was a fucking incredible match. One of the better Raw main events in a while. This was really good. They have really good chemistry one-on-one with each other, I guess. But
yeah,
yeah.
They did go ahead and they let this match have time. They let it be.
They let it marinate,
yeah,
boil up, and fucking just cook.
And I'm happy. So I do think the Dominic injury is a work. It seems to be that's what's being reported, but they're saying that
other people are saying it's not to do with like the delay the Judgment Day angle. It's one of them refused to go to Saudi Arabia.
Yeah. It's apparently something about Dom now not feeling comfortable going. So Mysterio and Styles were due to meet in the ring, but with it's been the subject of speculation given the ongoing tensions in the Middle East. So I guess their hands are tied.
So if a wrestler doesn't feel comfortable going, I don't think they're gonna. People said they would force him. I don't think they're gonna force any wrestler to.
I mean, the only way they can get them to cancel would have to be like someone like a John Cena and Punk being like, "Oh no, we're not going." You know,
they can easily do that if they want to. Right now, like John Cena and Punk can be like, "We're not going," and they'll be like, "Okay, we'll change it."
Yeah, Cena, of course, will win. They're not going to take the belt off him until much later. People are saying, "Oh, what if Punk wins and then Seth cashes in?" And we'll see what happens with the Goldberg stuff, but with this being Goldberg's definitive last match.
I really do see Goldberg winning, then Seth cashing in.
It seems like that's going to be the thing. You know, it's
so Goldberg can get one last world title hurrah, and then
I think that's what it's going to be. He gets the win, and either it'd be silly to have him just vacate it, but it would work out. What's their plan?
Because Goldberg's one of those people that has to be about me.
Well, he gets the belt, and then Seth gets to win. It's a simple thing afterwards, and I mean, they still say they have WWE employees stuck at the Qatar National Airport here. Before we move on with all this new stuff, I give Raw like an 8.5 easy, at least an 8. I mean, the women's
and they still have missiles was going back.
Jade's match brought it down a little bit. Raquel and Rhea at least turned into fun. And at least we'll get a payoff with the match. But all in all, everything tonight was damn good. And unfortunate that Dom's not going to wrestle at Night of Champions. Probably an 8 or 8.5 even. I enjoyed it. Yeah. I see that being fair. Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm going to go with 8 for.
I mean, the plans right now is, the latest hellscape that is the Middle East. Their plan is just a full go-ahead with this.
Of course they would. I don't think WWE understands this could be a lot worse of headlines if shit goes down.
Yeah.
But I personally think they should cancel the show. What do you think?
I don't think they should cancel the show. I just think that they should have done it. Relocation, and then do another show in Saudi eventually. But just the PR side of it. Even if you aren't risking people, I get it's a good distance away. Like Riyadh is further away than the eastern border or whatever they're saying is the dangerous part. But still, it's just
Well, there was something going on with Saudi skies before, though, too, right?
yeah. So then they were saying that they were grounding all non-essential flights. Then that wasn't the case. Then there was a ceasefire. Then the
Again,
ceasefire was supposed to
people need
start
to
after
know
both
this.
sides finished operations.
It's not going to
Then
be the craziest that they're going to do a show where active war is going on because they've done this for tribute to the troops.
yeah, it seems like LA
They
Knight,
used to go
by the
into war
way,
zones.
which is true. Yeah, LA Knight is going to be away for quite a while as well. I don't know if he's legitimately injured. I don't believe so. I think he's probably just taking time off, but it was announced that he'll be out of action and so will Liv Morgan for several months, so we're not hearing anything of excess of a year, but
Did
they did
LA
write
Knight
him
ask
off.
for time off or what's going
Yeah,
on?
they said that he had separated rib cartilage and a bruised sternum. So realistically, he's got, an owie in his rib and his chest has a big bruise. He'd be all right in 2 weeks time, realistically, but we know maybe he just needs time off or something. I've not heard anything else about LA Knight. So we'll see if we get any updates on that front. I know Shotzi did sign with MLW because she said she wants to
Oh, did she?
do crazy shit. Yeah, she wants to go back there to do a bunch of crazy shit.
She seems
Not
like the type
just
of
death
person that would want to
matches
do crazy
either.
shit.
So yeah, that was on the New York Post. It was interesting to try and read. Another thing that we're following is that rumor, which is probably just that, but they're saying that is WWE considering bringing Stone Cold back for a match with CM Punk? And I was like, oh, I don't want to see CM Punk back, or excuse me, Stone Cold back at all. I love how it ended with Kevin Owens. Like, even that
Me too.
realistically shouldn't have happened, but that was a blessing to get him one
Stone
more
Cold looked
time.
good there.
He looked great. The way they built and sold that match and handled it and the way they put it together was to all of his strengths. They did very little, but a lot at the same time. And they made him look like $1 million. I fear that he's going to look worse for wear. Punk it may
He's
not
older now,
be,
so yeah.
Punk may not be able to carry him as well as Owens did, back at 38. And then on top of it, I mean, he's over 60 right now. He's had total knee replacement
Yeah, I believe so.
surgeries. I think the moment's long past for him to have one more match in him. And people have said, like several people close to him said, oh, he might have one more in him. And I think that's what all wrestlers always say. And always that name has been CM Punk. But this is the first time it's actually being considered like even a possibility, like something like, would we be able to do this? Would this be feasible? They're thinking that it's a potential great match. And he said, but the only thing I would ever come back for would be Punk. Punk's on the list, of course.
Yeah, because I know they've always wanted to do a program with each other. So
Austin said this.
if
He
it
said,
happens,
he said, me and Punk are friends from way back. There was a picture from back, probably in my heyday. He's a lot younger than I am. We got a picture together. And so I think, he was a Stone Cold fan back in the day, and I'm a CM Punk fan now. And that is a...
wow, that's good. That's good words to use. I mean, they've always should have had a match, I believe. But I don't know about now because CM Punk's older now too. So
yeah.
Can he really carry a match?
That's what I'm saying. I wonder, can Punk do it then? Here we go. He looks kind of like Chester from early Lincoln Park, but it's funny to see like this was him back then. Look at this. My God, the fire red hair. That is 2002 at its finest. At its max, maybe 2001. Look at that. 316. And then there's this one where he kind of looks like Eminem. So he could mean either which one. Both have circulated pretty popularly. But it's funny, all the pictures Austin has with young people like Chris Masters and stuff, there are a lot of people that grew up that way. Obviously fans.
With that hair.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Either the red hair or the blonde part. It was either or. Stone Cold versus Flair, wheelchair on a pole. No, they'd need a pole to get up to the ring, and then the wheelchairs in the ring to just even get at each other at that point. I mean, Flair said he had a heart attack finally. He admitted it, and he's like, I died twice during that match, my last match. He's like, I didn't just pass out. They did studies afterwards. He's like, I died. I had 2 heart attacks. Let's keep having Flair come back. That sounds great, folks.
He wants to do another match still, though, right? I don't think.
Yeah, I guess. I mean,
I've heard him say
he
has
said it
another
1,000 times. So has Hogan. I don't know what to ever truly make of it.
A match, his back would be. He would
Janelle,
turn into liquid, I think, if Hogan had a match.
Yeah, he might. If he does a leg drop, he just literally turned to dust. Janelle Grant is now. She's past like discovery, I guess, but she's now seeking documents from Vince McMahon and WWE in an attempt to prevent the case from moving to arbitration. Her team filed a request for evidence on Monday, and this is according to the Post Wrestling. So she's basically requesting discovery related to the issue if the defendants can move the case into arbitration, which would resolve the lawsuit privately instead of publicly. She doesn't want that to happen, so they're asking for documents sufficient to show the identity of each individual who participated in drafting or reviewing the NDA, all communications between Janelle, Vince, and any other person concerning terminating Mrs. Grant's employment or the NDA, and all communications between any of your employees or agents, all on one hand, and any other persons regarding Ms. Grant's employment or the NDA. It goes on and on and on. There's like 20 different points of this. Documents sufficient to identify all persons in court case, all documents. Like, I can keep going. You don't need to hear all this, but
right.
Yep, she's going to have an OnlyFans because it doesn't seem like this case is going the way she needs it to. If it's going to go to arbitration, that's not great. I mean, she still might get paid, but we'll see how much. Corey Graves filled in for Pat McAfee for a second week in a row, as we said. His absence has not been explained, though, so we still don't know why. He usually takes time away to cover college football, but he always makes his return, from January onwards.
Yet,
yeah, no. So we don't know what's up, but this is the second week in a row, so hopefully everything's good on his end. He's still doing his shows and stuff, I believe. So we'll see what comes of it. Chris Michaels, the wrestler, is looking for help. His dog Pudgy is sick. He's a good dog with a great disposition. We want him here with us as long as possible. So he's got a GoFundMe that he's putting out right now to help his dog get some medical coverage. And he's obviously a former wrestler, so it's good to do what we can. So I will make sure that that's in the description box down below. But yeah, it's copy it this way if it won't let me copy the GoFundMe.
Yeah, if you can donate to him, no matter anything helps. But yeah,
anything helps, but especially now that it's going to his dog. His goal of rating 10,000. Right now he's a little over 1,000. It's definitely. He's like, I wouldn't ask for myself, but for Pudgy, I'm humbling myself. Pet parents will understand. Absolutely, I would do it for Milo. So that's why it means something.
Yeah, I understand. So
wish I had something to donate. If my bank wasn't negative, I would do so. But hopefully, I can continue to spread the word. So hopefully, if anybody can donate and do so, maybe leave a nice message from the show and say, "Hey, you're thought of over here." But speaking of thinking of people, yeah, this whole thing with the travel in the Middle East, there was many of the employees sent Saturday and earlier to ensure that the stages were built, everything was set up because they're going to be there for SmackDown and then go right into, obviously, the show for Night of Champions. And early on Monday, the airspace around Qatar was shut down to ensure the safety of its citizens and visitors. This came after the United States and UK instructed their citizens in Qatar to shelter in place. So Brian Alvarez first one to report the show is definitely happening in Saudi, but there are families stuck there that their jobs are done, but they can't come home now still. So
yeah, that's a scary situation.
Yeah, I mean, this is all fallout caused by the U.S. bombing several nuclear sites in Iran over the weekend, and Iran retaliated today with missile attacks on U.S. military bases in Qatar. No casualty reported yet, which is good, but still just Crazy to see these missiles and whatnot heading over. Well, let's go ahead and try and get this source up, the AP. So missiles are intercepted in the sky. They're launching them and they're actually blowing them up over the sky. The technology is crazy. The drones and the Iron Dome and everything that they have is SAM sites, all that
3
stuff.
people were reported dead in Israel after these new missile strikes. So I guess the ceasefire is
Wow.
because once you're
Ceasefire
killing
doesn't seem to be
civilians,
helping. Yeah, no, not a great thing
because
indeed.
they sent missiles at our U.S. military. So I thought Trump should have not promoting war or anything. But if you fuck with our military,
I guess
you should
Iran said they don't know shit about the ceasefire. So Trump announced a ceasefire. Congratulations to everyone. He put on Truth Social. God bless the world. And then Iran violated Trump's ceasefire. This is 36 minutes ago. You can see that they are bombing and destroying places badly. I mean, it's still happening. Iran violates Trump's ceasefire. They fire 3 waves of ballistic missiles directly into Israel. Critical patients reported and multiple deaths at impact site in Bashira as residential buildings struck. These are all family homes and non-military sites. So
it doesn't look like the ceasefire is happening.
yeah, on Friday, I don't know if they're airing SmackDown earlier. That's a good question.
It could be for international Netflix.
That's what I was curious about. So we'll try and check that as well. Let's see on WWE.com. We'll go to shows and we'll check on SmackDown. I don't see it because it's on Fox. I think it has to air, but it might just be recorded earlier. Sometimes they do air it earlier for international, like you said, but I don't see anything about that being mentioned yet. If we see anything, then we'll let people know. Trek, it doesn't seem like it. Apparently, from what we initially heard, again, take it with a grain of salt.
Did I lose you?
You might have lost me for a second. Can you hear me now? Dom is not legit injured, though. Dom doesn't seem to be hurt. Night of Champions, he got removed from because it seemed like Judgment Day was going to be breaking up there. So Raw is airing earlier next week, and SmackDown is on USA. I meant to say not Fox. Yeah, you know what I meant. So, but unfortunately, we went ahead and skip it to the mute, trying to change the audio there and get it off the browser. Yeah, Dom's not actually hurt, though, from what we've heard. So they delayed his story with the Judgment Day at this point in time. And it's just because Liv got injured. Liv was going to kind of supposedly turn as a face with him, and Dom was going to still have Judgment Day, but it was going to be with Raquel, and Raquel turning on Liv to make her the face. Finn turning on Dom to make him the face, and then that was supposed to be the occurrence. There's been this known for months now that it was going to be happening at Night of Champions. We've seen the slow burn of Finn being a devious, evil bastard for weeks in and weeks out, and now Liv got injured and it messes up a lot. So it doesn't seem like Dom is actually injured, but we'll see what comes of it. Yeah, so Raw actually is a double taping on Monday. Paul will be there live in person. Let us know what's happening on SmackDown
that's so cool,
next week.
Raw, getting to see Raw and SmackDown.
Right, back to back. Talk about an awesome show. When he bought the tickets, he thought it was just Raw. So now you luck out. 4th of July show, double taping. And they usually stack those up pretty well. They used to just like phone it in, but lately, the last few years, they've made them good. Yeah, I'm still stuck on Fox. Yeah, it's forever burned into my mind because it took me so long to say USA or say Fox when it was USA. And when they were on Sci-Fi, forget it. You don't even want to know what came out of my mouth.
I forgot they were on Sci-Fi.
Just a whole bunch of slurs. I was trying to say Sci-Fi. I'd say, like, whoa, get in big trouble. But don't need that happening. So, yeah, I don't see anything about SmackDown this Friday, but next Friday it will be taped early, right after Raw. Fun enough. I'm excited to hear from Paul and find out what happens on SmackDown ahead of time. So we'll hear during the Raw review what's going on SmackDown. I would give Raw an easy 8, maybe even an 8.5 tonight. Yeah, Liz had a great time. We showed a little bit of her footage. Unfortunately, I didn't get to talk to her much about it, but we did see some of her awesome footage that she put out and some of the shorts that she put up on YouTube that we shared as well. I have finally succumbed to using the VPN for SmackDown and for NXT as well, because Netflix just makes it so much easier to watch live there. And on top of it, especially for NXT, not using cable, if you want to be, mobile, forget it. So that's the only way to do it at this point, and it works out great. You can go right into Netflix, watch it that way. It's crystal clear. You don't have to worry about any streaming site, any nonsense. It's just bit, bam, boom, right to it.
Wait,
Kathy Kelly and Fortnite sign. That's great, but Kathy Kelly and Fortnite. So you don't trust the VPN? Yeah, depends on which ones you use. What are they going to do? Steal my login information? The worst with that would be is all the porn I watch and create. I mean, really, that would just be it. And oh my God, you weren't kidding. It's a 15-incher too. I would suck on that all day, buddy. I'm so glad you sent me that photo. That was
Wait, what?
That's juicy. That is a biggin. You weren't wrong. 15 inches. My God, that.
I mean,
like I said, I would.
Who sent you that?
You did. I mean, I appreciate it, but I would suck that fucking dry. Yeah, we're still on air. I mean, look at this. The big Capri Sun package. It's 15.
Fucking told.
No, the Capri Sun.
That one. Okay, I thought you were talking about the other.
It says it's 15 inches. Hold on here. Like I gotta do the. I fucked up the grab, but hold on. Smart Slack.
I thought you were talking about the other picture.
It says Capri Sun's 15-inch pouch, Solstice pouches sold out in minutes. I mean, I would fucking suck that thing dry. I wonder how many fluid ounces in that bad boy. 15 inches, 20 ounces of juice. Oh, I could do that in a second. Not with my tiny stomach, but I would suck that dry.
Still less than a minute, but okay. Good thing you were talking about the other picture.
You thought I was talking about all.
Yeah.
No. No.
Okay.
You're good. You're good. Don't worry. They ain't hear shit. So I don't know. I honestly, if I had to bet, gun to my head, they're going to Saudi. Night of Champions is happening. Full steam ahead. They'll be flying out tomorrow night and Wednesday morning. And that's what's going to be the most of it. That's what's going to happen. They're going to be over there, overseas, and just possibly overstimulated, but they'll be safe. I know it'll be okay. It's more of a PR thing. I highly doubt that they're going to be threatened. The Saudi government has provided them assurances for safety, so it would be a really bad look if the Saudi government brings in people as guests and then they blow up or die. Like that's not great. So I doubt they want that to happen. God, look how tired I look. Ugh, I am beat up. It has been a long weekend and a long, hot few days, huh, Cody? It has been a hot one.
What I did to you. My daughter got to go to the because
you broke up all over on your own there. I didn't even get to fuck you up.
Yeah.
You just got all fucked up yourself. So, sorry. NBC Universal owns both Peacock and USA, so I don't know why they still have to wait 30 days for SmackDown. Yes, it's ridiculous, and that's part of the reason I use the VPN, because if you're not watching live, Netflix is really your only other answer, because they make you wait for everything for on demand. Ridiculous. So, Cody, anything else you want to add, my friend? We've had a crazy time tonight.
No.
Shooting the shit.
We touched on all bases. We talked about World War III. We stayed on a little extra after Monday Night Raw to talk about other news. So we touched around a lot of bases tonight, and
we didn't.
Should we say bases either? We shouldn't be. We didn't go near any bases, actually.
I shouldn't say bases either. Like bases loaded, and then
oh my God, here we go again. You guys, if you don't see Jake tomorrow live for NXT, you know what happened.
Tomorrow. That's right. We got the NXT live review in the house. Cody will be there for some of it. We'll be live talking about NXT, everything that's going on tomorrow night. Looks like it's going to be a hell of a show, so you're going to want to tune in then for everything. And on top of it, we got into somewhere
Then Wednesday,
weekly.
we might.
Predictions galore. It's going to be a hell of a show on Wednesday. All the news you need to know, predictions for Night of Champions, some news updates for Saturday night's main event. We'll possibly know what more matches will fill out the card there.
We'll probably know more about the Middle East and what's going on with the war with Iran, Israel, United States, if Trump's going to ban air travel and all that. We'll know.
I mean, we were supposed to be having this ceasefire, and then it just didn't happen. So already that's been broken, but I don't know. We'll see what comes of it. It's not my fault, I swear.
Sources say that they blame me, though.
You are everyone. You are everywhere. So that I agree with.
Fair enough.
Cody, tell the people where they can find you, my friend.
You can find me over on my Twitter or X at Judgment Day Era, and you can find me over on my Instagram at Cody_Onidi_316.
That's right, and you can go ahead and find me on YouTube at Jake Countdown and DeMarco.
Oh yeah,
obviously
speaking
you're
about
watching
YouTube,
here. Yeah, you might want to mention yours as well. That'll be in the description box down below.
my YouTube is also Judgment Day Era, just like my Twitter and X. So
there you go. Be posting some gaming soon, right?
GTA, MLB The Show, Madden.
I'm looking forward
NBA
to it.
maybe,
It's gonna be fun.
All that.
Absolutely. So hopefully Pat McAfee comes back soon. We all do want Pat back badly.
Yeah, I enjoy him as a commentator because a lot of people don't like him, but people don't like fun, I don't think.
I think that's part of it.
He's supposed to just be goofy. I think he's always high half the time doing the show.
Yeah, exactly. You can find Liz on Twitch. You can find Spaz Phoenix. All of his podcast information in the description as well down below. You can find me on Twitter/X and Instagram and on Rumble at Countdown Ended as well. Thank you for hitting the like button. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for going ahead and turning on notifications. Again, we'll be live this Wednesday for Into Somewhere Weekly. We'll be live tomorrow as well with the NXT review, and then we'll be live this Saturday afternoon with the Night of Champions review. So thank you all so much. We'll see you then. Let's go. Have a great night. Stay
Banana
sexy.
time.
Stay
Banana
cool.
time.
It's
I
hot
hope
out.
what's gonna happen. Oh yeah.
In the zone.